All right, another one does bite the dust. If you guys are listening to the podcast, this is Donovan Sadiq and my partner in crime, DK, and you can check her out 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Facebook Live. She is earning every bit of that hate. I mean, I just love reading the comments on your thing because they're just tearing your ass up.
They try. Yeah. A for effort.
A for effort. A for effort and stuff like that. But thank you guys for joining us. This is the Donovan Sadiq Show, and I know you guys are saying, well, what's the difference between the shows? Just different segments of them, okay?
Matter of opinion, okay?
Yeah, matter of opinion, yeah. And then, who controls the show. So when Dee does her show, she pretty much runs the agenda. I run my show, I run the agenda. We do two the hard way. Everybody runs the agenda, right. So it's a pretty good thing. But what I want to talk about is local politics. You guys are starting to see signs out there, and it's that time of year again, and you're going to see a bunch of signs out there that are going to be littering your neighborhood and doing all these things that you don't like. One thing you don't need to do, especially in the city of Moreno Valley and Riverside County, is start pulling those signs down, because that is a misdemeanor.
It's like, why do that?
Yeah,
that's just stupid.
Yeah, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, but of course we have some people that are here from another country that and when you come from another country and you're here illegally, you might think that the politics that you learned over there are the same ones over here.
Gangster style.
Yeah, the gangster style, cartel.
Right.
Just bully. Right. That doesn't work here. So, and everybody says, oh, you're always talking about illegals, whatever it does. You gotta, call a spade a spade. I mean, it is what it is. We have a lot of people in the Inland Empire that are from Mexico.
Well, I was saying, all fairness, too, 4 years ago, so we dealt with a dude who was illegal, who he tried to be gangster.
Yeah.
It was an epic fail. He tried.
Yes, he tried, and I mean, it's not worth getting a misdemeanor on your record,
right,
and all kinds of stuff like that. Because you got to understand, this is when you do that, you got to understand this isn't like city signs. These are people who spent money, and it's their private property.
And again, it's vandalism. It's like, don't be stupid.
Yeah, it's not worth it, and especially if you're a teenager, and you got a lot of local activists, Luis Palomares, community activist, who's probably vice president of the Mexican Association, which is a total gangster cartel Mexico thing group that hates people because they think they're the indigenous people of this place. Now, we all know this used to be Mexico, but, hey, you lost it in the war, it is what it is. I mean, we took it, and that's what America's about. I mean, I know she's laughing, but these are facts. Yeah, but these are facts. And of course, Luis Palomares, the president of that organization, is Victoria Vaca, who's
wow, okay,
a councilman here in Moreno Valley, and she's facing a possible recall, which I hope really does go through, because she gets on the ballot, that's her ass. And so, as we know, Luis Palomares, who's the vice president of this organization, last year got caught on videotape vandalizing people's signs and properties. And here's the sad thing about Luis Palomares. It wasn't her specifically. She directed her grandchildren to do it.
She had the babies out there doing it.
She had her grandchildren out there doing it. What kind of lowly, dirty, low-down snake in the grass will use their kids to do crimes? Now that's low of the low. Am I not lying? That's low. When you use your damn grandchildren, don't we want the best for our children and our grandchildren?
She's like, baby, I'm making some cookies today. Just go.
Yeah, look. And we know the Palomerases have that family enterprise of criminality.
Oh, damn.
They are basically the Mexican mafia of the Goodfellas.
What, really?
Look up San Bernardino. Go to the San Bernardino County. They are known worldwide in San Bernardino, the Palomerases. Okay?
Goodfellas style?
Goodfellas style. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
Should we be talking about them then? I mean,
it's public record.
Is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah,
I don't know if we should be...
It's public record.
We might need to tread lightly.
Yeah, no, we don't need to. I'm speaking public record.
The opinions of...
Those. This all is public record. Just like I've been saying, Evan Moron, he's a piece of shit, because it's true. The guy admitted everything that I allege. I mean, and once again, here we are in Moreno Valley, and what do we elect? A guy that believes in forcible rape, homophobic and racial tweets, and, the guy just lies about it. And then, when you put the facts up on, he wants to put me in Facebook jail talking about that's not appropriate. It's factual.
Well, we talked about this before, and I always say I don't really blame him. Now, I mean, it's talking about forcible rape being cool and all that. No, that's disgusting. Let's just get that out the way. But he can't vote for himself. I mean, he can, but his vote alone does not get him on the seat. So people who voted for him, knowing that that's his history and his background, and he likes playing with dolls to rape each other, whatever the hell he was doing,
and talking shit about blacks.
Yeah, they know that. They know that, and they elected him to the board. That's the constituents' fault.
Yeah, no,
that's the
absolutely.
volumes of them that they have no problem. Like to me, it's like such an oxymoron that you elect a dude who is talking about rape with dolls and all this other stuff to something that's governing the lives of children. That's weird. Like what's going on, people?
Mexican cartel. Are we in Mexico? This is the kind of stuff that goes on in Mexico.
I doubt it.
This is the kind of stuff that goes on in Mexico, where I was at the school board one time, and a guy who couldn't even speak English, don't figure, but he wants to speak at the podium. He said, and this is when the controversy started. Matter of fact, there's a video of me speaking to Evan Morgan about that situation.
Yeah.
And this guy got up. This guy had daughters, and he was like, "Hey, it's no big deal." The guy actually said that it's no big deal to believe in forcible rape. He had no problem with it.
Because to me, forcible rape is like an oxymoron. I guess that's the word of the day, oxymoron, because rape is something that you do by force. And so if you have the force rape, and this is weird. Like, how is that acceptable?
Well, let me ask you this. You have a daughter, a grown daughter. If she was in the school district right now and this guy was on the school board, what would be your opinion of that?
I would make sure, I would do my part to be vocal at the well, my opinion, first of all, would not be a favorable one. I'd be like, what's wrong with y'all? Well, you guys really think this is acceptable? Like, what is really going on here that you would allow somebody who believes in that kind of stuff to govern the lives of children and be influential over children?
In racial epithets in a district that is
but again,
very...
We got to look at the climate that we are living in. And that's
this was before...
No, well, not really. I mean, I know it was before. Trump, it was before Trump, but it took Trump a while to get there, and he started. I'm not saying this. I mean, Evan probably thought that way before Trump.
Oh no, he does. That's why he avoids me, because he knows he'll get his ass kicked.
We live in an environment to where people who voted for him more than likely agrees with him as far as what he was saying. I don't know exactly what he was saying about black people or whatever.
Sure.
But I'm sure the people who voted for him also. Hold those values to be their own values.
Well, no, I'm going to have to disagree with you, because as we know in Moreno Valley, people are too busy commuting to and from work, and they are not informed. Thus, we started this show.
Well, damn. I mean, I don't live in Moreno Valley, and I know that he believes in, I guess, allegedly, forcible rape.
Right, but that's
so how do I live outside the city and they don't?
That's because you're involved in our politics here. What I'm saying is, you know what I mean? Okay, and then you're allied with me.
Now they know.
Right.
Why is that still okay?
Again.
How come he's not looking for a recall or something like that?
Again.
He couldn't be making decisions over the life of my child.
Well, here's the thing. When you're backed by Highland Fairview, and again, Highland Fairview backs these candidates that are racial, rapists. They believe in all this stuff, and that's
let's play devil's advocate here. Maybe Highland Fairview actually has their finger on the pulse of the community.
They do.
And knowing that's what the community really wants.
Okay, and exactly, and I'm going to agree with you, and that's my point of this whole thing. It's election season. You really got to research your candidates and what's going on. Just because they look like you doesn't mean they're for you. And I want to talk about two particular candidates in particular. You guys have seen signs of a young man. He again is I think he's very qualified. Altie Holcomb.
Okay. I know of him.
Altie Holcomb, very nice guy, former Marine officer. Now that's very hard to be a Marine and an officer and a brother. So,
okay. That's the brother that he does something with Richard.
Yes, he's his chief of staff or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
And very outgoing brother. Like I said, he's a veteran. And I want everybody to understand this. Have you guys noticed there's a big uptick in veterans running for office?
Well, maybe because you guys know what is actually needed, not just from a veteran standpoint, but in general. And you guys have a bleeding heart for your own. I mean, you guys are getting done dirty.
Well, yeah, we're getting done dirty, but I think you hit it right on the nail, head on the nail, it being that being veterans, When America needs to take care of some situations, they don't call on civilians and say, "Grab your guns, we're going to Iraq."
Well, they might be calling on y'all asses now that Trump's going over there dropping
Right,
bombs on
right,
people.
right. So basically, there's been an uptick in veterans running for office, and usually veterans don't do that for the simple fact that we've already done a lot of stuff already. We want to go and get into civilian life, and we don't want to get involved in the politics of all that stuff. We want to go live our lives because we've given up so much before. But when you see an uptick of veterans that are going, that tells you either we're going in the wrong direction or something is fundamentally wrong. Especially when you see people getting convicted for criminality and things aren't being done for the people. And I think that's a good thing when you see a guy like Altie Holcomb who is getting involved.
Well, let me ask you, what are his what exactly is he running for? I actually saw a sign.
Yeah, he's running for, I believe, supervisor.
Okay, so what makes him qualified?
Okay, well, like I said, number one, we know he's educated because he was a Marine Corps officer. He's been in the Riverside County for a long time. He was a chief of staff for General Richard Roth. Very active in the community. He's been active in the, I hate to, but let's do what the Mexicans do. He loves God, and he's been in the church, and he loves the children.
Okay, let me ask you this. Why should I vote for him?
I'm going to tell you why you should vote for him. Because if you look at all the other candidates that are running in that particular situation, I do not believe anyone has the background that this particular person has. And I'm not here to tell you who to run for and who not to run for. I'm just giving you a skinny because people have been asking me and they're calling me and saying, well, Donovan, if you had to do it, who would you go for? I'm telling you, I'm voting for Altie Holcomb because, number one, I know the man. And he's a man of integrity. He's a God-fearing man, highly involved in a lot of organizations within Riverside County.
So let me ask you this, just since you brought him up, because I have seen his signs around. I can't remember where I was, but maybe Riverside.
Signs are going up.
Now, as a black person that will vote, what's he going to do for me, or is that clear yet?
Well, it isn't really clear because remember, he's running for supervisor, so he doesn't necessarily